This month has been all about the hips. Keeping healthy hips is important. It helps us move well. It helps us have a stable pelvis, and all of those good things. So we're going to start off with a low lunge. This is one of the things we talked about, using a block. Curl those toes under. Bring the other foot forward. We can have a wall. We can have a block. But we're really using the block to modify. Maybe it makes it just more comfortable. Maybe it lessens the stretch. Maybe it intensifies the stretch. And then we talked also about bringing the heel of the bent knee to the wall as well for some stability. And we talked about a low lunge and how we can use a blanket underneath the heel. So we're going to start out nice and wide. We're going to come down to our block. We can place the blanket under the heel. Remember, we can keep those toes down, which if that's uncomfortable, bring the toes up. We can always prop something here if we need to remember not to hyperextend the knee. So we're here. We can also bring a block under the sit bone to give us more stability if we're really wobbly. Maybe some blocks here to open the chest more. We also talked about bridge and how we can intensify or simplify bridge. So we have our block, and we come down into the beginning of our pose, roll the chest open, locking those shoulder blades down, okay? So we're engaging those rhomboids between the shoulder blades a little bit. We have our block, knees pulling together. We can always put a block between the knees if we need to. Do not let them split out. If your hip abductors are really tight, if your piriformis is really tight, lateral rotator. So we're going to lift the hips, slide the block under the pelvis, and then we talked about how we can lift one heel and then lift, or how we can float the foot and then lift to make it harder. We don't want the pelvis to drop on one side when we're doing that. And then we also talked about some variations for downward facing dog. So as we come onto all fours and really engaging in the pose, and we talked about three-legged dog, and then how we can come up almost into a plank and use some hip flexion. We talked about eagle legs, and then how we can just send the hip out and in, all while really trying to maintain a stable hip and stable pelvis.